everyone! Today I'm going to be talking about how it feels to play against every single monster inside of Pillar Chase 2. This video is not going to be about how good is this character or if they need to be stronger, and rather about the experience, how it feels to play against them, and if it's fun. Before we get into the video, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and it would really help and I would appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. With that said, let's get into the monsters. Rosemary is the first character we have, and honestly, we're off to a good start. Rosemary is one of the first characters you can unlock, so the people who play her either have no idea what they're doing, or they main her, so it could be a 50-50. Either way, the character isn't too bad to go against. There's just no hiding against her since both of her abilities help track down survivors. Her speed is pretty fast, but the low stamina balances it out, and the attack only does around 30 damage. I would say to play against her, I feel kind of neutral, since I don't really enjoy playing against her, but I also don't despise her. Like Rosemary, Vapor is the second monster you get at the beginning. Unlike Rosemary, I do not like going against Vapor. While he is not very fast, he can send out his spiders and teleport to them. And if you were hit a couple of times from the spiders, you'll either get your bones broken or killed in one hit. Personally, this is not really a fun experience for me, since you can get one shot pretty much and TP'd from a far distance. I know there's a counterplay to this, but I'd rather just go against another killer since it doesn't really seem that fun overall. Oni is the next character I have, and this one I'm conflicted on. He doesn't have any damage abilities and instead has a shapeshift and a tracking one, but I still hate going against him. I feel like I'm never able to outrun him since he has the same stamina as a player, and I usually just get ran down, and there feels like no space for counterplay against him. My only strategy for survival is just to avoid people and hope he never comes near me, which makes playing against him a pretty poor playing experience. The only part I like is that the shapeshift ability is fun to see him appear from a random survivor. I would say going against the Fogborn is pretty fun and balanced. His first move is the teleport, which makes him invisible and able to move fast when he travels around the map. He can't attack or get stamina back in this state, but he can plan an attack. His next move is a stare, where if anyone looks at him, he will start crawling and gain all his stamina back and a speed increase, which is scary but cool to see. It is pretty balanced though, because he can only attack the people who looked at him before he entered the state. So if you look down to the ground and are able to avoid him, there's a lot of counterplay you can do. EXE is the next character, and overall I enjoyed no parts of his kit. He has a one-shot combo and a very hard-to-notice traps, which are two things I wish were not in the game. If EXE hits you with a basic attack and then a grab, you will die, which is crazy in a game like this where you only have 100 health and no extra chances. At least in Dead by Daylight, if you get one shots, you have like 2 extra lives after, but here, you're just gone. If you're close to dying to EXE, it's actually better to get hit by a grab rather than letting him do the combo, which is wild because that's the extent of the counterplay. The only benefit EXE does for the people is that it encourages teamwork and letting each other out of the traps, but I do not like playing against him at all, and it feels terrible. Uncle Samsonite is an interesting character to me. I think the dance mechanic is fun to see and prevent the build-up, but even if you are caught, you still have a random chance to escape the domain by going through a random door, which gives you some fighting chance if you're caught. While he's my favorite character to go against, he's one of the better ones. Baldi is also an interesting character to me. His kit has 2 abilities, which is to place a textbook down and to place a tape recorder. The textbook will give anyone who touches it a math question where they have to answer or they'll take damage, but either way will charge up his passive, which is to make him faster. Baldi's gimmick is that over the match he'll speed up, whether from the books or from killing people, he increases. Overall, I don't really have an opinion on him. Not a lot of people I've seen play him, and his abilities are kind of normal, and I would say he's pretty balanced at least. Springtrap is a pretty cool character to go against. His 2 abilities are he will cause players' screen to mess up, and the second is he'll go into like some kind of phantom mode and will move across the map pretty fast, and if he passes through anyone, he will debuff them and jump scare them. I think this is a pretty cool mechanic, and the debuff he applies makes his attacks do like 70 damage overall instead of 40, which is still isn't a one-shot, and he still has to work for a kill. Overall, I would say he's a pretty cool character with a cool moveset, and playing against him is enjoyable for the most part, except for the screen distortion, which is kind of a little annoying, but that's also the point of the ability, so I guess it works good. MX is the character I play the most against, and I know a lot of people hate him, but I think he's pretty fun to go against. Having to react fast to jump is a cool mechanic that keeps me ready to press spacebar as soon as I see the pop-up. His other move, which is a charge, also feels cool to try to dodge, like I'm trying to dodge a bull. Even though he's really fast and does a lot of damage, he has a lot of time you can take to actually counterplay. Like if you dodge to the charge, you'll have time to get your stamina back. When I die to him, I wonder what I could have done differently instead of, wow, that was unfair and he's overpowered. The Forest King, I think the design for this character is cool, but playing against him is kind of like eh. He mostly sends creatures to come attack you, and with one of the projectiles making your screen blurry and hurting you over time, and the second will hit you and keep you rooted to a place for around 4 seconds. I think it's kind of boring to go against and feels spammy, with how many different things will fly at you, along with sometimes you'll get chased by all the projectiles, plus the actual Forest King, which makes it just not fun at all. WYST is up next, with him being basically Pac-Man. I really like his chase music, and that makes him 100% better of a character to me. His moveset is pretty balanced, with one giving himself a buff, and the other shoots exploding pellets. The exploding pellet move, when he uses it, he actually has to stop, which can be used as a time to get your stamina back, allowing you to keep the chase going. Overall, when I see a WYST, I enjoy playing against him, and I feel like I can actually outplay him if I do everything right, which will allow me to survive. Niloticus is the next monster, and is the one I have played against the least. Whether it's because he's bad, or people just don't like him, I have no idea. The abilities for this monster is a leap and putting a radiation puddle down. He's the fastest monster in the game, but has really low damage and stamina to balance it out. If he's able to make people go into his puddle, it will boost his damage, but I have not had much of a challenge against him personally. If you're able to dodge the jump, there's not a lot of other things he can do besides just chase you down. Overall, I would say I have no problem going against them, but it's not particularly satisfying to win against them either. I am not a fan of playing against Vita Mimic at all. Most of the gameplay for the monster is stealth, and makes it not very fun to play against because of that. One of his moves makes him transparent and mutes his footsteps, which is kind of annoying since you play in complete darkness already. On top of that, another move will highlight you white, and if he hits you while the outline is up, you will bleed, doing more than 50% of your health when you just see him, and not even starting to chase yet. On top of that, his passive increases damage by 4 every time he gets a kill, up to 30. And if you're alone, he will do 10 extra damage on top of that, which makes it sometimes you cannot even know he's there and almost completely die in one hit. Fuwatti is the last monster we have, and like MX, I enjoy playing against him, and I find the chase to be pretty balanced for both parties. When he uses his charge, his sound cue is pretty recognizable, so all you have to do is move to the side since he's forced to go in a straight line. But also there's a lot of payoff for him, since if he's able to hit you with that move, it will do 85 damage to you. This gives you a chance if you're able to dodge it to get your stamina up and keep the chase going, make it an overall pretty fun experience. If you're interested to see where I put each monster, here's a tier list of where each of their ranks lie. If you agree with my opinions down below, let me know in the comments. I'm very interested to see what you guys think. And with all that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Bye!